Hello, welcome to Popalong RC, the RC car channel dedicated to RC car racing, and here it is, the RC10T Factory Team. Looking at the box, it's a stunner. I like the look of it. As you can see on the back there, we've got the gold pan chassis. So first thing we have there is the shell. Looks awesome. I'm going to go with Popalong livery, so it's going to have white, yellow, orange, red in the colour scheme, but I do want to keep it quite retro, so I need to have a little think about how I'm going to do the shell on that. It might come up similar to these ones. So this here is my RB10 retro, and then I've got another RB10 retro again. This is very similar colour scheme, so we've got the red, orange, yellow and white. So I will probably stick with that sort of theme. If we dig a little bit deeper into the box, I've just opened this up. We have got our manual, which I will go through in a second. But what I really like, we've got some proper retro decals there, and they're going to look ace on the shell. Window masks and a little book, so we'll put that over there. So on to the actual car. So first thing we have got here is our gold pan. It looks quite dark, it's more of a bronze I think than gold. We've got a set of wheels, and what it's worth noting is on this one, because it is the factory team, they've converted it so it can run normal hexes, which opens up loads of options for me in terms of wheels. In here we have got our motor mount, again in the goldy bronze, and spur gear. I believe this car is running a bull diff actually. What we got here, that looks like our dog bones, uprights, carbon fibre, shock tower. In this bag we have got some oils, and it looks like the oil filled shocks in there. We have our rear wing, which I'll put over there with the shell. We have in this pack another bronze gold front plate for the chassis, front shock tower, again carbon fibre, and then here we have our battery mount. Let's get this opened up and let's get building. Right then, time to get started with the build. A little flick through to have a look at what you need. Some of the stuff comes in the kit, other bits don't, so it is worth sort of having a dig around your spares to make sure you've got everything you need when assembling. So I know I've got plenty of grease about, haven't got any green slime. That is something I want to experiment with, but I need to sort out some Loctite, which I have got from when I built my last car, and then it's a case of just cracking on with section after section. The first few bits really quite simple, and you can see those blue hexes there. That is a big plus for the factory team RC10T, the fact that it can run normal wheels. Really liking the shock tower, carbon fibre. All of this goes in quite nicely, but these screws here, they are not metric like we use in the UK for most of my builds. I had to sort of dig around to find these. I think, yeah, you can see there, was it 3 and 32? So getting the right tools for the job. This kit does come with some little Allen keys to ensure that you've got it, but if you've got the proper drivers, it does make it a little bit more comfortable and a little bit easier. So onto the shock towers. I've opted for the inside holes rather than the outside holes because I tend to want a little bit more aggressive at the front, so therefore I tend to lay down my front shock towers. So my front shocks, putting them onto the front of the car, it's all starting to move freely. There's no binding, which is all good. Everything's nice and smooth. Now the chassis is in situ. It's amazing how quickly this car starts to come together. In terms of the steering rack,
which we're putting in there, again, moves nice and freely. There are some aftermarket versions of this that you can get. I actually found this is a little bit challenging to say, to line up these bolts to get these braces in, but once you've got it all lined up, you have to kind of give a little bit of a flex in the nose to kind of get these holes to line up, but it all goes in nicely. Front bumper on, again, just a couple of screws, and now this is the first issue that I had, and I'll come on to this a little bit later on, but I put in a e-tronics servo. It's quite a big servo, and with the steering rack there wasn't much movement because of the size of the servo, so I'm looking at getting a smaller servo into this, but we'll come back to that later. Moving on, these little pins. Now it's only a little pin, but that pin holds these hexes in place, which again is amazing because it means we can run modern wheels on these re-released vintage buggies. So again, rear shock tower is carbon fibre. I'm just building this as it says in the manual. Another thing that I was playing around with is the battery location, so where we actually put the battery, but again I've had another plan with that because I'm not happy with the current situation. In terms of getting all the turnbuckles sorted, definitely worth getting yourself some calipers to set those up. In terms of shocks, again, I just went through the process. I don't want to bore you with making shocks, but I did them all in one hit, adding them onto the car. The car really is starting to come together now. Moving on to some of the more fiddly bits, these tiny little, I think that was like thrush race bearings, tiny little things, but you need to make sure you get a little bit of grease on to lube those up. And it's all now about building up the diff, the slipper and the gearbox. So 81 tooth spur gear there, building up the gears. Again, really simple, nice and easy to put together, and really like how smooth it is. Once I'd put it all together and I was moving it through, it was beautifully smooth, and that's what you want. You don't want any binding or resistance in the gearbox. So I put a little bit of grease in there like it suggests in the manual, adding it onto the motor mount now. Again, this beautiful gold bronze color. Is it gold? Is it bronze? It seems a little bit darker than Mark Gold pants, so I'm thinking it's bronze. Anyway, there is the spur now in situ. All of that is moving freely and nicely, and it's time to attach it to the car. Okay, so here is the car pretty much done now. Spur gear is on, but I'm going to have to take that off in a little bit because I did have a slight issue. Again, the battery mount has been taken out because there was an issue with that. In terms of springs and shocks, they feel super smooth, really like those. Servo, I've now got a Power HD servo, but the servo horn is a little bit short. But other than that, all is looking good. So, why have I taken the spur gear off? It's because I couldn't get the case on because the turnbuckle was in the way, so I've had to take those off, shorten them all, and then I've put them into slightly different holes to allow that to fit on. So this is a little sketch I came up with for a battery tray because I wanted my battery a little bit further forward to shift the weight forward so that I could put the ESC behind. So I did my little sketch and I got that made up on a 3D printer. That turnbuckle there is for the servo, but I've just stuck it in there for now because I need to get a longer servo horn before I put that in. But motors are soldered in now. I've gone with a 10.5 because that's what we run here in the UK, and now I've got my shorty packs set up laterally with a Velcro strap. You can fit the battery in, and I've got my connectors, I think I've got 4 to 5mm connectors, so I can run both my 4mm and 5mm batteries. Okay, fast forward, and the shell is now painted. Really happy with how that came out. I've gone with our usual
yellow, orange to red livery. The white back there. I think the black stickers on white look awesome. Loving the retro stickers that actually come in this set. Real good collection. In terms of the build, it is pretty much done. Now, there is one thing that I need to say. I haven't got a driver to put the wheel nuts in. So at the moment, the wheels are not actually attached. They're loose. And I've opted for some disco discs. These ones have been branded with Popalong RC. Slow is fast. So they'll go on there. So yeah, I just need to get a driver so that I can do the wheel nuts up, because these nuts do not fit in this wrench. So yeah, I just need to work out what size they are. They're not 7. They're not 8. What's that one? That's a 10. Which tells me it might be about a 9, because it's not a 7, 8 or a 10. So yeah, I need to find a 9, and hopefully I'll be able to do up the wheels and get this thing on the track. So there it is, the Team Associated RC10T Factory Team car. Beautiful, love it. Can't wait to hit the track.